I don't even know where to start this video, but I'm going to start it on this, let's call it a note. You know how people get emotionally worn out? Well, I think I'm getting politically worn out. The events of the last 5-6 days has really worn down my, I wouldn't say love for politics, but my liking, my respect for the political system. And we're talking about the whole thing, not just politicians, but the people as well. So, if you've been living in a cave, you will know that on last Thursday we had the EU referendum, and we voted to leave the EU. Come Friday, you would think the world had ended. You would actually think the world had ended. I went onto Facebook, and oh my god, cry me a river to the people who wanted to remain. It was ridiculous. It was actually ridiculous. I just don't know how you explain why so many people would want to stay in a political system that's chipping away at sovereignty and chipping away at your democratic rights. But no, cry about it. Just cry about it constantly. Then, after that, it all starts to snowball, doesn't it? It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And at the end of the day, it gets more fucking ridiculous. It gets so fucking ridiculous that it's just like, what the actual fuck? Right, before I go any further, I'm just going to say this. Sargon of Akkad, who does this stuff on a more regular basis and is a lot bigger YouTuber than me, has done a 30-minute video which is really brilliant, and I'll stick it in the descriptions below. But yeah, we'll go on to this. People have given you their dismay, and then it gets ridiculous. Firstly, within hours, there's a government website petition for a rerun of the referendum. Over 50% of the people who voted in this, I think came up to 17 million people, I think the final number was, voted in favour of leaving. The people had spoken, so you live with it. You fucking live with it. This is not the time to spit your dummy out, throw your toys out the pram, and demand a second referendum. If we'd voted to stay in, I wouldn't be signing a petition for a second referendum for us to try and get out again. The people had spoken. Yes, I would have been gutted, but I would have accepted the democratic right of the British people. Then people start hurling abuse, and it's younger people claiming that older people have fucked up the future for young people. No, we haven't. What do you think will happen when your sovereignty, your democratic rights go? Well, if your sovereignty goes, you lose your rights. We saved you. We actually saved you. At this point in time, I'm going to say, I don't care about immigration. If you want to come to this country, come to this country. However, I care about sovereignty. I care about my democratic rights. That's why I voted out. You know what? You can have your cheap holidays or whatever you want. But at the end of the day, when we're part of a European superstate and we can't vote our elected officials because someone in Brussels has decided to take them, then I get bothered. and you better not complain at that. Then David Cameron resigns. To be honest, we expected this. I expected it. I think everybody expected this. Quite a few people are happy. Quite a few people don't like him. And can you blame them? He's not my favourite person, but still. Oh. So, we have a government that has no... what's the phrase? Not accessible leader, but a leader you can use. He's got no power. How is he meant to run a party when political party in the government when he has no power? Then we move on to Saturday, and it's the fucking teenagers again. It's fucking teenagers at universities again. And again, accept that you lost. You don't need to protest the fact that you lost. You lost. No matter how many protests you have, you're not going to get a rerun. The government have said this. The Labour Party will support this. So, yourselves. These protests are pointless. Absolutely fucking pointless. And that was Saturday. Let's go on to Sunday. Sunday. Oh, firstly, let's go back to the petition. How many of those names were actually British? About a third of them. A third of them was actually British people. Brits had been giving out their postcode to foreigners so they would sign the petition. Seriously, are you that desperate to be in the EU? Are you seriously that desperate? Okay, yeah, Sunday. On Sunday, Hilary Benn was sacked. Hilary Benn, who was actually one of the few Labour people in Labour I actually really liked. He stood up for his principles. His father was the same, granted, a bit more to the left than to Hilary Benn. But he stood up for his principles. He gave this fantastic speech in the Commons regarding going into Syria. Fantastic speech. So he gets sacked. What happens? Labour's front bench resigns. Seriously, you couldn't make this up. You could not make this up. And they have a vote of no confidence in him, in Jeremy Corbyn. And the man's still hanging on. I have a mandate by the party. Now you have a mandate by a person who paid a fiver for you to be leader. If you look at the actual parliamentary party, and people have been long-term Labour supporters for years, not these students, because let's face it, most of these are students who voted Corbyn in. Yeah, they'll just probably go and vote the Greens or something next time. But yeah, they're going to lose the working class voters. I can't see how Corbyn, with his neo-communist shit, doesn't realise he's losing the centre ground. He's losing voters. Labour are going to become unelectable. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. He needs to stand down for the sake of the Labour Party. He really does. Then, Monday. And seriously, Channel 4 really have a chip on their shoulder, don't they? They really fucking do. Channel 4 News, who I sometimes like, but this week they've really been getting under my skin. They really have. And I think their main aim for this news week is, look how racist England has got since we voted exit. And firstly they went to France. And they had football people chanting racism. Right. Like this is a new thing. It's like they feel like this is a news thing. No. Most working class people have some prejudices, and some of them come out against Muslims, and this was most of the shit was coming out at Muslims in this report. And I've seen enough Britain First stuff over Facebook for me to know this isn't new. So I don't know why Channel 4 is reporting this. Then yesterday there was some shit on the Manchester Metro link where people was hurling racist abuse at an American. Right. And this is the one you pick up. This is the one you pick up. Go on Facebook over years and years and years. There's shit loads of racial abuse that it's just there. It's all over Facebook, and it's all over Facebook, it's all over YouTube, it's all over social media. You've never picked that up before, have you, Channel 4 News? The whole racism has been in Britain for years. This isn't new. This isn't to do with Brexit. This has nothing to do with Brexit. This has been there for years. Seriously, can you not get your head out of your ass and see the truth? Get your head out of your ass, see the truth. And again, yesterday there was another pro-EU march, and this one was, actually I think this was even bad by the police. Police tried to stop this, but it still happened, and there's a bunch of fucking students trying to show their love for the EU. There was even one sign saying, "We love the EU." Oh, for God's sake. Seriously, for God's sake. There's no actual thing. Who told them this BS about the EU being good? Yes, it served its purpose as a common market, but at the end of the day, you're forgetting the whole point of the EU is to be in the European superstate. The idea is for your rights to be chipped away. Every country is sovereignty to be chipped away until it's a state within a European superstate. Stop professing your love for the EU. Anyway, lucky enough, I'm not watching the news today. And I know they're still trying to get rid of Corbyn, and he's still hanging on. And I still think he should go. But, you know what? I'm emotionally and politically worn out. I'm politically worn out. And this is probably going to get a few response videos to it, so I don't care. I love to hear the replies. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.